Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Pale Beyond. Now, just a very quick run through of why has it been radio silent and taking this long for the next episode? Well, the short version is I have not been feeling well, and I haven't had time and energy to actually record. That's the short version. Now, the more specific reason is of why I've been feeling ill is because of the weather. It's probably one of the most annoying seasons where I live right now, where weather and temperature is all over the place, and yeah, like the literal translation to English would be like spring winter. Some would probably call it the slushy season, depending on where in the country you live. It's not really that slushy up here where I live, but sometimes it's actually kind of bad. However, if you're wondering about how much winter can be, it's like Easter. Yeah. There's still snow outside. It's, according to my thermometer, it's 11.5 degrees Celsius. Minus 11.5 degrees Celsius. So, and during the day it's probably going to be like plus degrees because the sun is out. So that is the kind of temperature shift we're looking at, and the weather isn't stable. Let's just say that like that, and it can be anything from snowing, raining, to foggy, to clear skies, to cloudy. Like, it can be pretty much anything, and it can change between all of the things that I listed during the day. Yeah, it's pretty much the part of the year where anything can happen, and I haven't been feeling well. So there you have it. That's the reason why, and yeah, that's why I had to prioritize things other than making YouTube videos. Sadly, I would have liked to come back and play, but as I said, I haven't had either time or energy to actually sit down and do this. But here we are, back again. And I had to watch the previous episode because it was so long ago since I recorded that I need to have a reminder of what was I doing. So yeah. We are in the middle of nowhere, according to the map. We need to go into the captain's cabin. We are on week 3, and we're in the morning, so it's the beginning of week 3, where we left off in the previous episode. So yes, let's go into the captain's cabin and see what we can find. Take requests. Captain Hunt appears to be absent. His chair is unoccupied. Okay, best get started now or wait for Captain Hunt. Let's wait for him. Whole room shudders. Examine the problem. What in the... Well, I was worried about this. Look at that ice. We could be trapped for a while. Strong pressures, as if we didn't have enough bother. Well, no need mucking around. Let's get to work. Where's Hunt? I'll grab him. I'm sure he felt it too. Sure. Check the boiler room. I'm sure the mole man has problems of his own. Not to worry, everyone. We will be free and moving again before you know it. Back to work. Yep, so descend. Kasha. Officer Shaw, what happened? The ship's coming to a stop. We almost flung my camera into the wall. We didn't hit anything, did we? Have you seen Hunt? We're trapped in some ice. We'll need to break loose to get moving again. Stay where you are. I don't want you doing anything reckless for a photograph again. Like in these situations, lying or withholding information is usually not a good idea. I think a lot of people a lot of people who especially is in a commanding position usually make the mistake of withholding and saying nothing to not cause chaos. The problem with that is that itself can cause chaos and even have worse outcomes than a chaos caused by information. Because if people don't know anything, doesn't mean that people aren't going to do anything. Sometimes, but it's also very important to try to give them enough information and give the information in a way so that they are informed, but that you sort of bring the seriousness of the situation to a more calming level, so the information is calming rather than chaos inducing. Anyway, like, stay where you are. I don't think that's what I want to go with. Have you seen Hunt, or we're trapped in some ice? Let's ask if she has seen Hunt. Have you seen Hunt? Not since this morning. I was going to speak with Grimley about lifeboats, last I heard. Okay. Descend to the middeck. Descend to the lower deck. Grimly. Ship stuck then. If you're looking for Hunt, you just missed him. How? Didn't cross paths? You're calm about this. Have you checked the boiler room? Let's say how. Because we didn't cross this path. Don't ask me. I'm going to check with my brother. Yeah, there's some there is something going on here. I know what's going on because I've played a bit of the game before. Approach the two men. Hey, if I make any errors, I'll tell you. It's secured, don't you worry. They notice you. Impressive machine, this spoiler. Am I interrupting? I'm sure you're aware of the situation, what's happening. Sure you're aware of the situation, what's happening. I am ensuring that the boiler was not damaged in the sudden commotion. And I told you that if it was, you would already know. True. I'm not in the business of making mistakes. I know that if the furnace goes, we go down with it. Yes, but you're only one man, with just a pair of engineers as assistants. Just looking at the number of valves, this seems far too much for you to handle. Maybe your bloody benefactor should have considered that. I've gotten used to it by now. It will hold, trust me. I will. Well, I will have to, won't I? I don't fancy staying on this ship any longer than necessary. It's imperative we break free from the ice as quick as possible. Hammond eyes you, and grimace on his face. First mate's here, but where's the one who got us into this bloody mess? He's a difficult one to find. I was hoping that Templeton knew he may be in his cabin, I'm not sure. I was hoping that Templeton knew. I was informed by one of the Stokes that I had just missed him. But I have a suspicion as to where he may be now. We're on a ship, an unmoving one. The man cannot simply disappear. If he is anywhere, he must be in his cabin. When you find the man, give him an earful on my behalf. Can't do it myself, too busy keeping us alive. Captain gives a nod. We believe you and I both owe our captain a visit. A good captain a visit, sure. But you should call the crew for dinner first. Routine is important, especially now. Yeah, exactly. In these kind of situations, these, like, such a simple routine as eating, as you always do, is a good way of diminishing the severity of the situation. Not before we've fed this furnace. Mind grabbing some coal from the bunker, Shaw? Or are you afraid of dirty hands like Mr. Templeton over here? So yeah. Keep her lit, Captain. Well, I'm not the captain. Exactly, like, as you can see here, the furnace is where you put in fuel. So that is the furnace thing. And then you have the hoosh pot or hosh pot, whatever, however you want to say it. And here if you don't know, or is new or whatever, or if I have missed explaining, because I can't remember, it was such a long time since I played last time, is that this is not the max amount that you have in total. This is the stuff you have that you can bring out on demand. Like, it's a hard one to explain. It's actually quite simple. Like, these resource cards, such as the sack of coal, that's in my inventory. That's my reserve. The ones that I haven't used yet, the resources I haven't allocated yet. The one in here, where it says 46 out of 100, that is what I can use to ration every single week. So that's my allotted and allocated resources for fuel or food. And every week when I'm going to decide the rations, it uses the allotted, like the allocated amount that I have put into the furnace or the pot, and to add more into the furnace and the pot, I need to have these resource cards, such as sack of coal or tin of cans or whatever, to put into the furnace or the pot, which then increases this from 46 of 100 to, and in this case the sack of coal will bring it up to 66 out of 100. That's how it works. I would say it's not super intuitive, but once you understand it, it's very simple, to be honest. Biggest thing to see what you have in reserve is actually go into this and go into the resource cards and see, okay, how much coal do I have, or how much food do I have, like how much of these things here do I have. And if you hover over them, you can see, okay, this has a furnace value of 20. So if I add this into the furnace, it will increase by 20, the furnace by 20. And it won't increase anything to the hoosh because it's not food, it's coal. But some things does have a fuel value and a food value. So something to keep in mind, because that's where the sort of strategy and tactical decision where you have to choose, okay, what do I prioritize? Do I prioritize food or fuel? So anyway, resource items may be spent here for instant effect, increasing fuel or changing the status of crew. Anyway, we have that. Feed the furnace. So yeah, you can feed the furnace, or you can ask engineers to raise the heat, which cures crew of raising, which is going to be important later on. Maybe not now, but soon. And that's where this, I would probably say that the one big thing you need to do is harvest as much of the coal and the food as possible, You emerge mid-deck to find the crew readying themselves for dinner, despite the ice. Some seem nervous, others as if nothing has changed at all. Pantry. You lift a crate of you lift a crate. I think it should say of tins, not tins, from the shelves. Anyway. For now, I don't think I can allocate and harvest and like take too much from these. But especially here you can see a crate of tinned food. It actually has a fuel value. It's not a lot, it's just 3, but it does have a fuel value. Something to keep in mind, that certain things might actually be maybe not good for putting into the furnace for fuel, but you might want to do it anyway. Or vice versa, the other way around, where it might not be good food, it might give more fuel, but you might need the food more than the fuel. So that's where some of the strategy comes in. And crew need fed for the week. Add this, plus 20. And as soon as you have allocated like this, you can't take it back, but you also don't need to take it back because it's allocated, so it's... But I would strongly advise to not overfill. Like, don't fill up to 100. Fill it as close to 100 if necessary, but yeah. Call the crew for dinner. The crew have the meal. The dinner is shared. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. You can't help but notice that it's still bright light outside. Yes. Anyway, let's listen in. You didn't see me either? He didn't pass by, but his cabin door was locked when I checked. Slippery bastard. What are you thinking, Hunt? Yep. They didn't know they were just covering for him. And I would argue, covering for someone is not necessarily bad. However, it is bad when you don't actually know what they are doing and why you are covering for them. Just covering by default is not a good idea to do. But anyway, no sign of Hunt, I take it. Mr. Templeton passed by, but he wasn't exactly willing to take questions. No, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, this is, we're in a bit of a nightmare situation where we are stuck in the ice, in the middle of nowhere. Keep it up, lads. We will set ourselves right in no time. Ah, sure. I just saw Templeton enter the captain's cabin. Seems Hunt's holed himself up inside. Maybe if you had a word with our good captain, he'd be willing to lend a hand. We'll see about that. I was informed that he was here. Where could he have hidden himself? Maybe he's gone overboard. He has to be in here. Check under his desk. At this point, leave the man. I will handle matters. No, he has to be in here. Check under his desk. I highly doubt he's cowering beneath the table, sure. Arr! The captain's laugh rings out from behind the door. Or behind the blind. The captain watches you both, his head swaying as he chuckles to himself. You're a surprisingly difficult man to get hold of, Hunt. Seeing that this is your ship. I know it well. Once I turn to you. I believe you two are already acquainted. How long have you been drinking? I don't suppose you care to join? ... Hunt shakes his hip flask as he holds it out. Whiskey sloshing and spilling from the top. And what of you, Shaw? I can't tempt you with some sweet nectar. Alright then, I'm fine. I don't drink. Yeah, I would probably say I don't drink. And you don't care to humor me this once? Oh well, your loss. You intend to offer drinks at a time like this? This ship, your ship, is trapped in the ice. It's my ship now, is it? ... And what do you expect me to do? Get the shovels out? You could have heeded Kurt's warning. What do you mean this isn't your ship? You could at least do your work. I've carried your load until now. Well, it's true you could have heeded Kurt's warning. It's not necessarily would have done anything. We could have been in the same situation but somewhere else. So let's ask, what do you mean this isn't your ship? Bought at an auction. Not by myself. Imagine that. Captain of a private vessel. And I don't even own it. Pathetic. Mr. Hunt. Captain. If you are not fit to stand, then you should retire for the night. Shaw will stand in your stead. We can continue in the morning. And abandon my duty? No captain who would do that is a fit captain. Wouldn't you agree? Well... Not you. Sure. Oh my god. Isn't that right? That sneeze came out of nowhere. Anyway. Not you. Sure. Isn't that right? What do you think makes for a good leader? Sobriety for a start. Making the difficult choices nobody else wants to make. Being able to do the job I've been doing on your behalf. Let's go with the middle one. Making the difficult choices nobody else wants to make. Do you think you could live with yourself? They all act like the choice is the difficult part. Choice is easy, sure. Instinctual. It's not being able to sleep after. That's what they never prepare you for. It's true. That is actually true. That the choice is usually very easy. It's what comes after that makes it a difficult choice. But I'm serious, sure. To you, what makes a good leader? We don't have time for inner word then. What makes a good leader? Understanding, control, or willpower? Yeah, that's a... Like... The thing is, it's pretty much a combination of all three of them. Like, you needed the willpower and tenacity to do it. You need a certain amount of control over the crew and like the people that you're going to lead to be able to lead them. But without like general understanding from the ones you lead and like acceptance from them, the control and willpower doesn't matter. So it's a combination of all three. I would have liked if there was 4 choices here where you could choose understanding, control, or willpower, all 3 of them in varying degrees. But honestly, I usually think that if you communicate and have a good communication and try to understand them, and you explain, and so you have like a mutual understanding of what the situation is, where you're going to go, what's happening, and what your options are, and which option is the least bad one. Control or willpower pretty much comes by itself. That's my philosophy on the matter. But so I will take understanding, explain. Ability to adapt to your crew, to understand the individual needs to make up the whole, to understand what needs to be done, to know the next course of action, to understand your limitations, to know what you're capable of. Like, all 3 of them. Again, all 3 of them. Anyway, ability to adapt to your crew, to understand the individual needs to make up the whole, to understand what needs to be done, to know what your next course of action is, to understand your limitations, to know what you're capable of. I would probably say it's the 2, the middle or the bottom one, mostly. To understand what needs to be done, to know your next course of action. Sure, let's go with that. And that's something you can know? And that's something you can know, is it? Perhaps you'd like to step above deck, look over the bow. Nothing but eyes surround you. You can't see 5 meters from your face through all of the mist. Do you know the next course of action there? Speaking in platitudes will do you no good. A good leader is something more than a single rule you were told to follow. True. When you see one, you just know. You have wasted enough time pining philosophical philosophy, I would probably say, is the more correct thing to say. But anyway. Oh, my apologies. I'll ask the real questions. Sure. Look at where we are. Do you honestly think that we're going to survive this? I have no doubt we will. I don't know. I had no assumptions on returning alive. Like the job description. I'm extending the time because I'm going through this event, but yeah, the job description actually was like, don't expect to survive. Pretty much. So I don't know. I expected as much. The captain laughs. Sure. Nobody knows we're out here. That doesn't leave this room. No. Wouldn't want to upset your employer. Our benefactor. We all want to be paid after this, don't we? Enough. If we weren't fit to lead this expedition, you should not have agreed to it. You shouldn't be... None of us should be here. Old Kurt paid handsomely to join. You're just a botanist sent to keep an eye... You're just a botanist is sent to keep an eye on me. Our doctor? And then there's me. And myself? Or what are we actually searching for, or what of you? I think I want to know what we're actually searching for. Hunt chuckles, gesticulating mockingly with his hands. Ghosts. Templeton opens the door. The captain needs his rest. We will discuss this once he is of sound mind. Let him speak, Templeton. I wish to know more. We're chasing dead men. This doesn't leave this room. It's all right, Robin. Go on now, sure. I'll be all right here. Captain appears to have fallen asleep. Yeah. Templeton is a bit suspicious, to say the least. And once again, to just highlight, we are in the middle of nowhere, stuck in the ice. Orca Island was the last stop that was part of civilization, and Viscount Island is where we are trying to reach. And here we are, stuck in the ice, somewhere in the middle along the journey. So, I have gone past the 30-minute mark that I have for every episode, but I wanted to go through the cutscene before we rounded off this episode. And this is sort of where the story and like the things kick off, so to speak. This is where the game goes from the introduction to basically the first chapter of the story. So, and here I am sitting pondering if I have missed anything to talk about before I round off, but I don't think so. So I think we shall round off so I can get started on the next episode immediately after. So yeah, with that, I think we are just going to say like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if you have anything to say. And all of those things, it's entirely up to you. So if you want to, that would be super awesome and nice if you did. But with that, thanks for watching, goodbye, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.